Hi everybody, welcome to this tutorial video on linear search. We're going to be using Java to figure out how linear search works. And basically this video is for students who like videos, because if you've seen this web page, you're already given an example of how to do linear search using a for loop and how to do linear search using a while loop. So this video is just going to focus on the for loop code, and I'm just going to talk you through it as we build the algorithm. So let's just get started. First of all, of course, in our main function, I'm just going to set up an array, an integer array. I'm going to call it nums, and it's going to be a new integer array length 10. Okay. Now what I want to do now is populate this array with some values. So I am going to use a for loop to do that. Let's just put a comment in here. Let's populate the array. So for int I equals 0 to I is less than nums.length, which is of course 10, I++, and nums I will be assigned a random number. So we'll use math.random, and let's just say it's any number between 1 and 100. And just so we can see what's going on, let's also output the value that's being assigned to that element in the array. So we'll say, okay, nums let's just see if we can figure this out. Right, hopefully you understand what I'm doing, but it is a bit tricky trying to create kind of a sentence by putting data. There's a variable that I'm putting into the sentence, and there's another variable that I'm putting into the sentence. Take a moment to think about that, and we'll look at the output in a moment. Now that we've populated the array, we're going to get a search value from the user. So let's ask for it first. We'll make a prompt. Enter a search value. And then we're going to create a variable to get that from the user. Now I have created a scanner variable kbin. I've made it global, because there may be some other functions later that might want to use this, so whatever, it's okay. So we've got a value from the user. Now we want to start the linear search. So the first thing we need to do is create a flag. A flag is going to indicate if we found the item in the array. Okay. Now I could do it this way. I could create a boolean. Maybe I'll call it found and give a starter value of false. And then if we find the item in the array, we're going to change that to be true. And then later we will evaluate this variable and determine if we found what we were looking for. That's one way to do it. But what I'm going to do is another way. I'm going to create another kind of flag, which will be an integer. I'm going to call it index. And I'm going to give it a starter value of -1. Now I'm giving it a starter value of -1 because -1 is not a valid index in an array in Java. Okay? So if we don't find anything in the array, this is just a perfect way of telling us we didn't find anything. So have a think about that. Now we're actually going to loop through the array again. Nums.length, which is 10. I could type in 10, but let's let Java figure out that value. If the value in the array which we are currently evaluating is the same as this value that the user entered, then we're going to grab I, because I is the index of that value. So we're going to update our flag. Okay, That's all we're going to do. That is now the end of the search. It's done. It's finished. The for loop is finished. What we need to do now is go and have a look at what this flag is containing. Is it still -1, which means we didn't find anything, or has it been updated to the index of the search value in the array? Okay, so if our flag index is the same as -1, it means we didn't find anything. Item not found, or value not found, or whatever. Else we did find. It means we found it. Okay. Item found at index. Okay. The flag. The flag is storing the index of the item if we found it, or it's storing -1 if we didn't find it. Okay. So there's a neat little algorithm where we're declaring and initializing an integer array, populating it with some random numbers, getting a search value from the user, and then starting this classic linear search algorithm where we set up a flag, update the flag if we find what we're looking for, and then evaluate the flag. Okay, so let's see if this works. Enter the search. Okay, so it's displaying num0 is 51, nums1 is 27, etc., etc., etc. Let's enter a search value. I'm going to look for 66. Item found at index 4. Yes, that is correct. Let's just run it again. We're going to try and look for an item that's not there. Let's say -55. Item not found. So there's a brief explanation of a classic linear search algorithm.